Round the Bandstand by Frank Swinnerton. Sainte-Beuve, as he grew older, came to regard all experience as a single great book, and it seemed all one to him whether you should read in Chapter 20, which is the differential calculus, or in Chapter 39, which is hearing the band play in the gardens. R.L. Stevenson, An Apology for Idlers. She wondered if he had seen. It had been the merest drifting flirt of her eyes as he had passed, and the band was still brazening out one of Dvorak's humoresques. She didn't know what it was they were playing. Funny time, she had thought at first, and then only, had he seen? Not a bad-looking boy, with his straw hat atilt and his elbows ever so slightly crooked. Damned sauce that other fellow with the squint had, to ogle her with his near eye. He had passed before, she remembered, and looked at her. Like his impudence, to think. A girl standing next to her against the edge of the band enclosure was whispering to her friend. He said, "Go for a plain walk." I says, "Ooh, I don't go for plain walks," I says. "When I go out, I go to the theater." Fancy, wanted me to go out for a walk with him once a fortnight. Wasn't havin' any. Well, would you? Beatty gave the contemptuous girl, some skivvy, she supposed, a flying glance of scorn. It was rather hard lines for a fellow to think he was doing his duty if he walked you round the houses once a fortnight. More fool she to have taken up with him. Silly young juggins. Looked a fool with her gooseberry eyes and, as for that nose, it was funny. Couldn't wonder at the man keeping it for once a fortnight. Once a year'd be better still. And the hair. She patted her own, the tips of her fingers lightly upon the hairpins, driving home satisfactorily one that had projected. She had the bold and calculating eye herself, quick to seize a possibility and push an advantage, and a mouth that in repose was too thin. The other girl had a great gaping mouth and full lips. Skivvy all over, made her own dresses too. Corsets too big, bulging out her blouse, which fell suddenly loose upon her skinny chest. Ought to be back now, oughtn't he? Must be a weary willy if he didn't get round the bandstand quicker than that. And he didn't look sleepy either. She swept a long glance scrutinizingly down towards the end of the enclosed grass plot. There he was, nice little tweaky nose, looked as though he was up to a bit of fun. He was coming, his walk just slightly exaggerated, the faint light mustache on his upper lip almost invisible in the semi-darkness. No end a dog he was, thought himself, she corrected. How much nearer was he? She'd show Ginny that it didn't matter about Bob. Hello, what had happened? Had he stopped? She shot another glance down through the loitering crowd of girls and men, streaming slowly from east to west and from west to east in gay frocks and ugly, cheap summer suits. He was lighting a cigarette further along the path. Two other girls had knocked against him, laughing uproariously as they jerked his match arm and made the match send a black smoke stain along the cigarette. Silly fools. He was looking after them. What did he do that for? The one in blue's skirt was 3 inches lower at the back than the front, and look at her blouse at the shoulder, like a concertina. Oh well, she didn't care. It was nothing to her if he looked at other girls. Still, he'd half stopped when she had looked at him. But then perhaps he hadn't seen. Of course he'd seen. They liked to keep off a bit, to have another look. Perhaps he was afraid? Not him. If Ginny thought she minded about Bob, she didn't. A great lout like that, with his snickering hee-hee laugh, in a shop with a lot of other fellows. Got his scissors always in his waistcoat pocket, too. You could imagine the tape measure round his neck. There was a thread of cotton upon her own sleeve. Besides, the man couldn't keep still for a second. He was always flopping about from one foot to the other, grinning like the cat in the poster. That might be the shopwalker's eye, or corns. Oh no, she didn't care that. She moved her arm slightly to show how little she cared, and then felt again among her hairpins. It was only nervousness that made her do it. Girls of her class have no other means of occupying their hands under scrutiny. He was coming along now, swaggering, cocking an eye in her direction. Saucy little swine. But she liked it. Probably he'd stop beside her, lean up against her. He might drop his cane. She had her handkerchief ready to drop. People knew all about that now, though. Girls did that in novelettes. Not nice girls, not ladies. She would not drop her handkerchief. She'd look at him, withdrawing her eyes slowly. He was abreast. Should she cough? He had passed. Oh well, the next time he came round. She followed him with her eyes. He'd got new clothes on and a clean handkerchief sticking out of his cuff, like Swells had them. Damn Ginny, with her smugness, getting Bob. What did he see in the girl, with her little pimply face and her ready-made $1.03 cotton blouses? Well, he was a clumsy brute himself, hopping about. Couldn't keep still, the way Ginny had looked when she told her, as if he was a prince, with his 23 bob a week. He'd never get any more, wasn't smart enough. He'd got plenty of conceit. Conceited, that was what he was. She supposed he hadn't liked her saying that about him last Sunday. "Great clumsy fool," she had said. "Oh, am I?" he'd said. "Yes, you are," she had said. "Look what you done. Torn my dress?" He'd turned off pretty smart onto Ginny then. They had giggled and snickered together. Potty they were. Where had that boy got to? There he was, at the other side of the stand, leaning on the railings. What were they going to play? Oh, Blue Danube, she knew that. It was lovely. She'd danced that at the old Clerkenwell Town Hall before it was closed. What was that? He'd raised his hat to some girl. It was. He'd started talking to the girl. She was giggling and turning away. He pressed himself against the railing. She was laughing screamingly. It was one of those girls who'd knocked against him. Little cat. He'd caught hold of her arm. "Our dance, miss," said a facetious voice behind her. What was that? She was so intent upon watching that fellow across the other side that she couldn't take it in. Got a bead necklace the girl had. Get them for a penny. Fancy being attracted by a penny necklace. He must be a fool. Little teeny mustache he'd got. Wasn't worth calling a mustache. Good evening, miss. Warm, ain't it?" Was that somebody talking to her? She turned abruptly. It was the squint-eyed man. "Oh, go and boil your face," Beatty said. The man was obviously gratified at eliciting some response. "Beautiful gardens," he said. "Beautiful music they have here. Pity the trains make such a noise." "Oh, lovely," Beatty said. The eye she could see was clear and honest. The coat was tweed and respectable. The mouth, well, he'd got nice teeth. Not a bad-looking fellow. "Been wantin' to speak to you all the evenin'," he said. "Taken you a long time to make up your mind," she told him, but with gentleness. "You looked so standoffish, so ladylike," said the man. Her heart gave a great leap. Did she? "Would you like to go inside? Have a chair? Much more comfortable. You can hear better." "Just's you like," Beatty said. They moved towards the entrance to the enclosure. "Lot of people," said the man. "Beastly crush," Beatty said humorously. He laughed. "I'm sure," he cried. "Oh, well, comin' in." At the gate, at the very gate, they met the boy and his two girls. One was on each side of him. He still held the arm of the girl with the bead necklace. She, for her part, looked at Beatty, and then at her friend on the boy's other side. They both laughed, shriekingly, and the boy looked disconcerted. "Did you see his eyes?" the girl said. Beatty flamed with anger. Her new friend turned and smiled genially. "See that kid?" he said. "Which? The one with the two other kids?" Beatty asked. "Wonderful how he does it on 15 bob a week. He's in the same place as me, licks the stamps and gets the governor's tea ready. Keeps himself somehow." Beatty said nothing, only went rather self-consciously round to the unoccupied seats, swinging her arms. "Licked the stamps, did he? Got the governor's tea ready." The band started to play a selection from Götterdämmerung. "Oh, what a row," said her friend. "Wonder he don't clean the windows," Beatty said. "Eh? Oh, he does," said the man. Her cup of joy was full. The whippersnapper. The end. Best Audiobooks for Free hopes that you have enjoyed this production of Round the Bandstand by Frank Swinnerton. Please subscribe to our channel on YouTube and Rumble, as your subscription is the support we need to create more great free content. Please look to our website at bestaudiobooksforfree.com for a complete list of our audiobooks.